In.
Out.
Over.
Under. Around.
Yeah, section B, prepositions.
Prepositions are words that show relationships between other words, usually nouns. We use them to show how words relate in terms of time and space. Across, by, at, and through are some of my favorite prepositions.
Whenever you see a preposition in a sentence, you're probably going to see a noun not so far behind it. You might say, among the turkeys, past the pancake house, or with Pedro. The preposition plus the noun that comes after it is called the prepositional phrase. But don't worry about that now. We'll go into more detail about that a little later. Let's look at a preposition in a sentence.
Darla will find her missing watch somewhere among the turkeys. Our preposition here is among, and we can see that it's showing a spatial relationship between the two nouns, watch and turkey. The watch could be under the turkeys, between the turkeys, or heaven help us, inside a turkey. But because we use the preposition among, we know exactly where Darla needs to look to find her missing watch. Where? Among the turkeys.
That sentence demonstrated how a preposition can show how words relate in terms of space. Now let's see one that shows how two words relate in terms of time.
Mildred always finishes her meatloaf before Mark. In this sentence, before is functioning as a preposition because it's showing a time relationship between Mildred and Mark. Or then when it comes to eating their meatloaf, Mildred is before Mark, not after, during, or past him. Prepositions all.
Sometimes prepositions can form close and intimate relationships with verbs, so much so that when they're together, they can surrender their individual meanings and become their own concept. Here's an example, using the prepositions at, over, and up, and the verb looked.
The chef looked at the secret recipe. Simple enough. We have a chef looking at a recipe. But suppose we say, the chef looked over the secret recipe. Now we have a chef quickly reading the recipe. Now let's say we have, the chef looked up the secret recipe. Now the chef has the recipe filed somewhere and she's trying to find it.
See how looked over and looked up means something completely different from looked at? And at no point was anyone actually looking up at the sky or over top the piece of paper on which the recipe was written. The prepositions over and up have fused with the verb to change it into a completely different idea. When a preposition is used to alter the meaning of a verb, that's amore.
So, a preposition is a word that is used to show a relationship between two other words in a sentence, and this relationship could be either in time or space. We've also learned that in some special cases, a preposition can be used in close connection with a verb to alter its meaning. So, before, after, under, and over are prepositions.